Hi, I'm Bill Patton, and this is my light testing machine. I designed it using an open build rail system and a stepper motor, which is controlled using a Arduino microcontroller, which is inside the teach pendant. So I can teach positions as I go through to pick up the bulb, put it in the testing system, put it in a good bin, or in the bad bin, so it slides down. So this is the escapement, and it drops one bulb at a time, so that when the head comes down, the vacuum pump picks up the bulb. It's a laboratory type of vacuum pump with a little suction cup built onto it that I design and put on, and then it picks up the bulb and takes it over again to the testing station in either a good or a bad station. And that's what the microcontroller does. And then over here, I'll show you a better picture of it in a second. This is the GE PLC. It's a Series 1. It's an older controller. Okay, let's put it into automatic. Start to cycle. Now it's going to release the bulb. Head comes up, picks up the bulb, and takes it to the test station. Get the light bulb lights, takes it to the good station or good chute. Drops it off and comes back and gets another one. And it just keeps repeating that cycle. All the positions are taught, again, as I said before, on the teach pendant. And again, we'll get into that in a minute. And then it has a design feature I built into the PLC, is doing all of the work and control it, and the microcontroller is doing the position. So when it pulls out a bulb, and there's no more bulbs, it's going to try to drop more bulbs. So it's going to do it 3 times. If it doesn't find a bulb at the bulb in position, then when it drops it off, it's going to come back, and of course there's no more bulbs, so it's going to go out of the cycle and stop the cycle. Okay, let's take a closer look at the PLC system. Okay, so this is the GE PLC, which I was showing you. Now, these are the I/O simulator switches, which I use because instead of going in and wiring a bunch of push buttons, it was just simple to do this. Simpler way of doing it. So let's, this is the automatic. Right now it's in manual. So if I push the up and down, we get the up and down. I can, let's take out a bulb here just so I can show you the escapement. So manually move the escapement. Yeah, I'll just leave one in there. I can do a move function. If this is down, of course, and I try to do a move, which is 3. This is move to position. It won't move to position until it's fully up. Now, move to position. And I can move to another pre-programmed position. The next one below it is number 4. I guess I should say that's 34. And that is move to the home position. Again, this is all manual, so you can test it once when you're setting up the positions with the teach pendant. And then 5 is the vacuum pump. So I could basically go down, get a part, come up, and you see I have the bulb. Let's go back down. turn off the pump, just release it so it's still there. So that's basically the manual. And then automatic is just that we put it into automatic. You get your automatic light. Manual is now takes it out of manual, and then this is a cycle stop, this is a cycle start. So if I want to start the cycle, I just flip the switch on and back off. The cycle will start. Now if for some reason I want to stop it after just one test, I flip number 7 or 37, turn it off, turn it on, back on, turn it on and back off, and then it stops the cycle. So you're only going to get one out of it. That's basically the PLC. Then, like I say, we have some input-output DC relay cards. That is for the, let's put this back in manual, that's for the vacuum pump, because it works on 12 volts. So there's a 12 volt supply in there. 24 volt supply is basically like a computer 24 volt. I guess they use them for different things, but that's the power source for the PLC. And then the output is for some solenoid valves that are operating the escapement and the lift. And then we have the input card, which all the proximity switches are connected to the PLC. There's 2 home switches on here, which I'll show in a minute. The one proximity switch is for the PLC to know that it's home, and then the microcontroller, the Arduino, has its own homing switch, which I will go to the end, hit the switch, back off of the switch, and sets it to the position. And these things have a tendency to, sometimes over a long period of time, gain counts. I haven't really looked into why exactly that happens, but over time it will do that. I guess it's without an encoder, probably is one of the reasons it doesn't. So what I did in the program is I come back, I hit the home limit each time and reset the system so it's always back at the same spot every time it goes to get a bulb. So let's take a look at some of the other operations you'll be able to see in the video that I shot earlier. Let's take a look at that. Okay, when the machine is first powered up, it goes into a homing, so it's going to go slower and then home. And let's see that. So we're going to turn on the switch back here. You can see it come up. So it's going into its homing position. It's looking for this switch right here to be tripped. So now it's at the home position, and the PLC's home position is up here. So it knows that it's also home. Now that it's programmed, because of that accumulated count errors, it actually comes and hits the switch every time and then comes off of it, and then it goes down. But the PLC knows that it's home and can start its motion down once that happens. And there's a slight time in there to count for the hitting the limit and then backing off of the limit. Okay, in case you're wondering, this is the photo cell that's picking up the light bulb. If it lights, this photo cell detects it. It turns on a relay inside of this control box here, which tells the PLC that the light's good. So that's how I'm detecting a good or bad bulb, actually by looking at the light. And here's a shot of the socket, just for the cone was designed was if it's off a little bit, it can force the bulb into the center and light the bulb. Okay, this is the teach pendant. I thought I'd go through that as well. So I have a key here. I have the joystick for positioning back and forth. There's a speed controller on here that I can set the speed as actually while it's running in the automatic system. And this is a teach button, so to teach the positions. Power on and off, position LEDs 1, 2, and 3. The key is that you have to have the key turned into the program position, or what I actually call the teach position, to actually even operate. As you can hear that, now it's going to move. So now it can be set, and then basically what we're doing is we're saying to there. If I turn this back off again, now it doesn't operate the motor. Okay, and if you press and hold this for more than, I believe it's 3 seconds, these lights will all go out and it loses its position. All of the positions are in EEPROM. It only writes it once when you first set it up, so we don't have to worry about it continuously burning that chip and wearing out, because really once you set it up once, you really would never have to do it. Like I've set it up already. The lights are on because all 3 positions are set. And again, the positions that are set would be the bulb where it picks it up. This is the position right off of the home limit. And then the next one is where we actually are testing. So that is position 1. Position 2 would be the good shoot. And position 3 is the reject shoot. And so again, that would be the test light position, the good shoot position, and the reject light position. So all 3 LEDs come on and showing you that it's set, and we'll do that in a minute and show how that all works. Let's take a look at the inside if we can get a good shot of it. It's kind of hard to see. I'm going to power this down just so we don't have any mistakes. So it's kind of tight in there. The wiring is a little bit tight. Let's see if I can open this up and see what we got inside a little. Let's see, can I zoom up with this? Yeah. So back here is the stepper amplifier controller, and this here is the Arduino, and I use these terminal plug-ons, which I thought was really nice. This way I can just easily wire. This was originally for a camera system, overhead gantry that I had designed, and then ended up using it, a different controller on it, so I ended up using this system and just changing over a few things. So this also has a interface, which is this green board down here that you see back behind the Arduino board, and that is a interface board that so I can send signals or talk back and forth from the Arduino to the PLC. So I know what home position is when I'm home, when I want to return, when I'm at position, to send that information back and forth. So the PLC knows when to tell the stepper motor to move. And there's one other board back in here. It's really hard to see. It's a relay board, and that's also for positioning. But anyway, that's a quick look at the insides of this thing. So the logic for it too I have, so we can maybe discuss that. So this is the power source for the light bulb. It's a transformer, isolation transformer, for 120 volt to 120 volt, drop, and then rectified to DC using a bridge rectifier. Just a simple little board that I picked up to wire in the output of AC and then rectify it to DC. This way I thought it was a little safer if somebody accidentally touched it or whatever. Always got to think of safety, right? this is the power supply that I was telling you about that I use for the 24 volts to operate the solenoid valves and the PLC. Alright, let's take a closer look at the teach pendant. Right now it's set up with the positions that I've set up to during the video. So let's change those positions and you can see how it works. So once I put the key into the teach mode, I can now run the slide, I call it, or the stepper motor, whatever you prefer, right, left. Okay, so we're going to, this for just a demonstration, we're going to set a couple of positions and see what we do, see how it works. So to reset the LEDs and reset the positions, we're going to press and hold this button. As you see now, all the reset lights go out. And again, this is EEPROM, but I'm not doing it all that often. Really, you'd only set it up once like I did, but for the video purposes, I'm going to show it so you see all the lights are out. Okay, so now I'm going to move just in an arbitrary position just for the test. Okay, and now I'm going to hit the first position. So you see the position light comes on, and then you can see that it's at its position. And then let's move it to a second position, and we'll teach that position. And then we'll move it to another position, and we'll teach that position. And now we'll just take it out of the teach mode, and now as you see it can't move. One thing I should mention that it's set up on an analog, so you can go very slow to get a fine position. Alright, well thank you for watching my light bulb testing machine video. If anybody's interested in the Arduino programming, I will post that if people show an interest and want to see it. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching. Bye now.